Hi, guys, and welcome back to Twisted Locker, your definitive horror podcast. Today, we've got a crap one. I hate doing these videos. We've got the worst remakes ever made. I really, really hate doing these. As you can see from our channel, I think we've got about three. You
Yeah.
keep trying to make me do them, and I keep pulling them off because I don't like talking about crap films. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but people love people moaning. Yeah. And and I'm gonna have a fucking big rant today now, because this is
Yeah,
my
you,
time
you
to fucking rant.
this is where you'll shine, and I'll
Yeah,
I'll kind of I'll kind of stay in the shadows.
yeah.
Anyway, like I said, we're gonna do the worst remix in our personal opinion. Very reluctantly, Jenks, do you wanna kick this one off?
Okay, you're probably gonna disagree with me here, but it's Rob Zombie's 2007 fucking Halloween. Oh my god, this is shit, right? I cannot stand Rob Zombie, okay? I think it's just his movies are just passion projects. He doesn't understand horror properly. Halloween, okay, is everything that's wrong with a remake or a sequel. You've got dissecting a character like Michael did not need to be dissected. I kind of like the fact that you just a relentless killer. Seeing him as a child, okay, it's so shit because his mother in it, played by Sherry Moon, okay, bit of nepotism there. I think
Shelley
in
Moon's in
Sherry
there.
Moon
Is Shelley Moon in there? There's no
in a
way.
Rob Zombie film.
I completely forgot she was in there, to be honest.
She no, imagine a Rob Zombie film without his missus. Um, so so she's the mother, and the problem is they're trying to show the case that nature and nurture, that he had a bad upbringing and he became Michael because of such and such. His mother in it is a really loving mother, and in one of the first scenes, you see Michael as a child killing a bird or something. I can't remember. It's been a
Yeah, yeah.
while, but killing an animal. I'm thinking, well, where's the progression? He's already started on an animal. I know that's the progression to humans, but he's already horrible straight away. So what's the point of seeing him as a kid when you're not seeing any of the steps? You're seeing him straight
Yeah, yeah.
away as those those tropes of a serial killer kid killing an animal. Uh, and then you've got it from the point of view of Michael. Okay, now that's fine if you were just going to do a straight up Michael story that's got nothing. It's not a remake. It's just a prequel. It's got nothing to do with the previous Halloween with Laurie Strode. But to sort of splice them together, so when you have Michael coming to Laurie Strode's house to terrorize her, you know he's coming because it's from his point of view. So you don't care when he shows up and she's meant to be scared. You're not scared because you're like, yeah, I saw him come. I saw him down the road in the fucking car. Singing along. Fucking it's like it's so bad, and that's why I like they did it with Hannibal, right? They did Hannibal Lecter as one of the best characters ever. Then they did Hannibal Rising, and you're like, oh look, we don't need to see how he became a fucking
Yeah,
cannibal, and we
absolutely. Absolutely.
and we, you know, Jason's a little bit different. His story has progressed from the start. This first story was very much about his mother. Then that, so you've kind of had. There's no prequel needed. It's every step has been a step. But with Michael, like they tried to they made him to be his Laurie's brother, and then they ditched that then in the later ones.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do not like this film. I don't like Rob Zombie. I didn't like. I tried to watch. What's that film you stuck on for me the other day?
Devil's
Uh,
Rejects.
I know a lot of people like it, and everyone says it's his best work, but the bar is pretty fucking low. And Halloween '07 is dog shit. That's my catchphrase.
I think you're a bit nasty there, Jenks, to be fair.
Yeah, I am sorry. I've had a bad day, right? I've had a fucking
No.
bad day. Okay.
um, I don't like Rob Zombie's Halloween, but I don't hate Rob Zombie either. No, that film alone I don't like, and his last few films have been very poor, to put it nicely. I'm a massive fan of House of Thousand Corpses and an even bigger fan of
Shit.
Devil's Rejects. I absolutely love that film, but he's not very consistent. Three from Hell is awful, and he's done some stinkers. But I gotta agree with you. Halloween isn't the worst film ever made, and it's not the worst remake. but it's a
Oh,
bad Halloween movie, and I hate the fact that it was told from his point of view. And we don't need to see him as a kid growing up.
no.
That snippet in the original, where you just see him outside the house and they take the clown mask off him, is perfect. That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
He was born evil, and that's what Halloween's about. He was born evil. There's nothing you can do
yeah.
about it.
Yep, yeah. What's your pick then, boy?
Here we are then. So my first pick, which is a way worse film than Rob Zombie's Halloween, and I'm going for 2005's. Don't know the director's name. Amityville Horror. Now this is an
You don't know
absolute
the director's name?
soulless. I don't.
Oh
I
my
even
God.
researched it. It's gone. I did
Look,
my research and
look,
it's gone.
everyone knows the director's name, okay? Don't ask me because it's so obvious, right?
I do know this was his first film,
I
but
think it
that's
was
about
Spielberg, wasn't it? I think it was a Spielberg.
Spielberg. I know that Tarantino was a script supervisor, so that's why the script was so good. But
Yes.
that's about as much work as he done on this one. But yeah, like I said, we've got
No, no, that's
2005's.
about as much work as you've done in this segment. You don't even fucking know the director's name, okay?
This is going to be
Carry
over
on,
in two
sorry,
minutes, right? I'm going to say my
sorry.
piece and get it done with. Like I said, I hate doing these. It's a soulless, boring, and empty remake of a classic, but it's still better than about 20 of the sequels. I haven't seen
Well,
Amityville in space, right? But I guarantee you it's better than this.
If I were you, I'd leave now.
Amityville
I
in
actually
space.
we should watch that for a laugh.
Oh, absolutely.
We should.
Next time you're up, now we'll watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
We watched this not that long ago, Jenks. We were struggling for
Yeah,
films to watch, and I hadn't actually seen this one since it came out in 2005. And I didn't even know if it was a bad movie or not. I remember nothing about it. I just know that it's kind of one of those remakes that's fallen beside the wayside. If that's the fucking saying, I don't know. But we stuck it on and we had way too much fun with this one.
yeah, I
Considering it's
know.
meant to be a scary horror film, it's the most fun I've ever had watching a film. I mean, you like to watch comedies on a Sunday morning,
Yeah,
um, and it's the most fun we've had making fun of this movie.
yeah,
Um, I really like Ryan Reynolds as an actor, and he's completely underutilized in this film and very one-dimensional. I
yeah.
feel like he's just an average Joe they've plucked off the street to be in this film because he's got a rippling body and he's handsome, and they absolutely shove it in our face. And I'm sitting on the couch watching this film, probably just drunk about 10 cans, feeling fat, watching Ryan Reynolds trudging
I
it through
know.
this house with his top off.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
watching it in the cinema and thinking, does he need to be this jacked for this type of film? He's just a husband.
just a
He's not like an
husband
action.
like.
Yeah, he's just a normal bloke.
Brilliant. But
Yeah,
yeah, all in all, it could have been a great film. It could have done with a modern day revamp for modern day audiences, but it absolutely fails on every level. And it kind of falls into that category of the dark ages in 2005. But I will say The
yeah,
Descent came out in 2005, so it kind of brings it up a little bit.
yeah,
But the early
yeah,
2000s as a whole were quite a weak time for horror films. And this is a great example of that.
yeah, yeah. Good one. Right. I gotta warn you. I gotta warn the viewers. This next one is gonna make me fucking angry. This is the worst, not the worst ever film made, okay? It's not the worst film, not even the worst remake, okay? But everything about this film makes me fucking mad. Ghostbusters 2016, okay? Uh,
You need to let
or
it go,
better known as
Jenks. You need to let it go.
Girl Ghostbusters or Shitbusters. I just made that up. It's it's so bad. Okay, now I when it was revealed that they're making a new Ghostbusters film and it was going to be all female at the time because at that point it wasn't so in your face about gender swapping, race swapping, all the crap you get now. It was kind of a newish thing. They've done it a few times, but it's everywhere now. It's oversaturated. So this was like the first on a big scale. And I was like, what? Why are they doing that? Which can't they just make Ghostbusters 3 or make a remake with have four characters, maybe make one of them female because it's a male audience. So first off, the director Paul Feig. Okay, he did Bridesmaids, which is a fucking masterpiece. He did Spy, which is brilliant, and he did The Heat. He's a good director. He knows how to direct women well. He knows comedy. He did a few episodes of The Office, American Office. He is a talented director, but he was given the wrong film to do. So it's basically a remake of the original '84 one, and it's even the trailer starts off on a bad note because if you remember the trailer, the first trailer came out, and it said, 30 years ago, 4 scientists saved New York, something like that, and you're thinking, now 30 years later, whatever, and everybody, including me, were like, "Is this a sequel then?" That
Yeah,
implies that it's a sequel, not a remake. And everybody shared my view. And then they did a new trailer then saying something else that didn't make it out, that it's made out like it's a remake, not a sequel.
yeah.
This film has got talented women in it. Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy is great. Okay. Fucking Chris Hemsworth's a great actor. But it's so sexist, this film, okay? They made Chris Hemsworth the secretary, the dumb blonde secretary, to imply that Ginny Melnitz from the original was a dumb blonde secretary. She was not blonde, she wasn't dumb. She was just a secretary. She was a hard-ass New Yorker. There was nothing dumb about her and stereotypical about her. She was like the one who was looking at this through our eyes of like, these men are ridiculous, you know? They made Thor beyond dumb. You know, he had no glass in his glasses because his glasses kept steaming up.
Kevin, hi, can you answer the phone?
Can't. It's in the fish tank.
No, the one on the desk that's ringing. That one.
Oh, that one. He has no.
And when the phone was too loud, he was covering his eyes. And I'm like, this is not a dumb blonde. There's something wrong with you. You need to go to a home or something. And this is, this is like, and then none of the women have got love interest in it to imply like they don't need no man. It's like, as if like as if the original was somehow like an attack on women. Yeah, it was a male-led film, but Sigourney Weaver's character was a very successful woman, worked in the orchestra. She was not, yes, she was a bit of a damsel in distress towards the end, but she was very established. She wasn't dumb. She was very intelligent. And again, so the two women in it, Sigourney Weaver's character and Janine Melnitz, can't remember her real name now, uh, were strong women. Even in the 80s, they weren't stereotypes. And I hated this film so much. But the only blessing with this film, the only blessing, is that we got to get another Ghostbusters Afterlife. Not the greatest film ever made, but still very enjoyable. And we got a new one coming out. And without the shitbusters, the girl Ghostbusters, we wouldn't have these new Ghostbusters because of the fan backlash. You know what I mean? Yeah, I actually didn't rant as much as I thought I would. I thought I was going to lose my voice.
Do you know what my favourite part of that was when you just finished it? Because I'm sick of hearing about it, Jenks. I'm sick of you talking about that film.
Shit.
Can I just point a few things out, right? We're on a horror podcast. Ghostbusters is not a horror film, right? It's a comedy with ghosts in it. You can't call it a horror film. The originals may be a bit more horror, but that one isn't even close to being a horror film. And on the back of that, we're talking about Bridesmaids and Spy and Melissa McCarthy. What the hell is going on?
Right. Can I stop you there? You had the fucking Raid 2, right? That's not even remotely horror. Yeah.
Don't get me started on some of the stuff you wanted to pick, honestly.
Right.
Right.
Curtis, if we had a bigger fan base, they'd be mad right now, right?
No
But
chance.
luckily we got a low amount of fans at the moment, okay?
And they never see this
they're not-
video.
Yeah, well, they might go back and go, "Oh, I wasn't there at the time," but that's bad. That's fucking
I'm
bad.
here now. I'm here for it.
Right,
Right.
come on, now what's your last pick?
Let's
We'll
move on
punch
to my
you.
last pick then. Come here then. Right.
Too far away.
So my top pick is probably my favorite worst sequel, if that makes sense. This is
No.
right. So this is the sequel I hate the most. There we are. And it's not Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
And I'm
Alright.
wearing this t-shirt
No.
to represent,
No,
right?
no.
Wait.
Remake, not sequel.
Remake,
Yeah.
man. Oh, that's right, because you were talking about Ghostbusters being a sequel for 10
Yeah.
minutes.
You got the worst research for this podcast ever.
Oh my God.
It's called, right, carry on, remake.
Right. one of the worst remakes ever made. And we've got 2005's The Fog. First off, to call this movie a remake of the original classic by John Carpenter is an absolute insult. The tension, dread, and suspense from the first is absolutely out the window. That's gone. All the characters are one dimensional with absolutely no arc or backstory. They just belong there. The CGI is awful, overused, and outdated, even back in 2005. This never looked good. And the worst thing is about this, right, is that it adds absolutely nothing new to the story. Basically follows the original beat for beat. And with remakes, like I've said before in other videos, you need to do something new and fresh. And outdated CGI just isn't the answer. When you're remaking, especially a film as iconic as the original Fog, I know you're not a big fan of this one, Jenks, but I absolutely adore this film. I think it's perfect on every level. It hits absolutely everything perfectly. You need to add something new and fresh. And
Yeah.
like I've
Yeah.
said about Amityville, it came out in 2005 and it feels like an early 2000s movie. The original Ghost, right, still to this day, right, I rewatch it a lot, are still terrifying. The fog coming in on the town, that small, sleepy feel of like that
Yeah.
seaside town. It's absolutely amazing. I'm not going to go too much into the original because I could do a whole video about that one. But
Yeah.
considering this came from that, it's really hard to believe that they messed this up so badly. Now, the original Fog is one of my all-time favourites, so me enjoying a remake of it is going to be a hard task. But this one didn't bring absolutely anything at all to make me say, oh, okay, it did this differently, or I quite liked how it did that. It doesn't add anything new to it. Um, I did actually try and give her another go. I watched it when it came out, and I was young in 2005, and I didn't like it then. And if you don't like a film when you're a kid, you know it's turd
Yeah.
because your tastes are crap. So
Yeah.
I rewatched it maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, and I didn't even finish it. It's such a bad film, honestly.
Um, it's the thing with like we said before, if you're going to remake something, whether it's a song or a film, make it different or make it better. Don't make it the same. And Fog was basically the same and worse, like a double whammy. Like if
Yeah,
you
literally.
like,
It was
yeah,
yeah, it
if you
was too
think,
similar and worse. That's the problem.
yeah.
That's the biggest
Um,
problem. Yeah.
but you did have Superman in it, Tom Welling. You know,
Ah, Smallville. Yeah, of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
And they didn't
Um,
utilize him, gents. They didn't utilize him.
no, I
They
know.
just
Yeah,
cast. They
good
just
pick.
cast a good looking guy.
Yeah,
There we are then, guys. That is all we got time for today. Jenks proper dragged us over our time limit today, I will
yeah.
say. But sound off in the comments, guys. Who do you agree with? Is there any that you would have mentioned instead? Rinse Jenks for mentioning Ghostbusters, please. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.